Hey guys, welcome. In the latest 4.2 PTU, we got a major missile and torpedo overhaul. If you look at the changelogs from Star Citizen Ship Performance Viewer, you will find a long list of changes for each and every single missile and torpedo, not including the bombs. It might be overwhelming, so in this video, I'm gonna try my best to explain it in the simplest way possible so you can easily understand it. And I also just did a video testing the torpedoes in the 4.2 Arena Commander. With these two videos together, you should have a clear picture of what these torpedo and missile changes, both in paper and in reality. Now, let's take a look at these missiles size by size and stats by stats. First, let's take a look at the missile and torpedo house increase. So here is a simplified list. For size 1, size 2, size 3, and size 4 missiles, the house has been increased to 50 hit points. Size 5 torpedoes, the house has been increased to 100 hit points. Size 7 torpedoes, which we have only one, and that is on the ballista, the house has been increased to 300 hit points. And what's important are these. The size 9 and size 10 torpedoes, the house has been increased to 1000 hit points. Now, in my previous 4.2 Arena Commander torpedo testing video, we tested the size 10 torpedo from the Polaris, and that torpedo can be easily destroyed. So I think in the Arena Commander, the house has not been updated yet. But in the 4.2 PTU, I tested personally shooting with an FS9. The house was indeed increased for both size 9 and size 10. Alright, this is a size 10 torpedo from the Polaris. Let's test its health. Wow, what are these water effects on the ship? Okay, so the test is this. The FS9, each bullet can do 14.5 hit points. And I have 75 rounds, so total together, it will do a little bit more than 1000 hit points. Which means when I empty my whole mag of FS9, I should be able to destroy one torpedo, not before that. So let's try on this one. I'm gonna shoot it a little and then use tractor beam. Now you can see the house is diminished just a little. Now let's keep shooting at it. Stop at here. Now tractor, you can see the house is left with just a little bit. Let's finish the job. Oh, that's one mag. Wait, I'm not able to destroy it. Let's see. Oh, only tiny little bit of house left. 1 or 2 bullets. Oh! That's it. The entire ship is destroyed. Alright, the same thing goes for the size 9 torpedo. This is Argus 9 torpedo. Let's shoot at it. And now, tractor it. You can see the house is diminished just a little bit. Now. Oh! Oh! That's it. Exactly one mag. That's 1000 hit points. The mass holds. Now for the size 12 torpedoes, there's no change for the house. So that's the house change for the torpedoes and missiles. Next factor, which is only pertain to the torpedoes, is explosion safety distance. This one we tested in detail in my previous video. For size 9, size 10, and size 12 torpedoes, the explosion safety distance has been increased to 1500 meters. Simply put, within 1500 meters, your size 9, size 10, or size 12 torpedoes, when hit the target, will not explode, but simply get deflected or bounce off the target. Yet for size 7 and size 5 torpedoes, I do not see this explosion safety distance, which means they will behave like missiles. Next stat is the minimum lock range, very important for locking missiles. Some missiles' minimum lock range has been increased and some has been decreased. Let's take a look. For size 1, minimum lock range increased from 1000 meters to 1700 meters. Size 2, minimum lock range increased from 1000 meters to 1800 meters. Size 3, minimum lock range increased from 1500 meters to 1900 meters. Size 4 missiles. Who uses size 4 missiles, right? Anyway, minimum lock range for the size 4 missiles increased from 1500 meters to 2000 meters. Now, size 5 torpedoes. Minimum lock range decreased from 3000 meters to 2000 meters, with one exception, which we're going to be talking about later in the video. Size 7 minimum lock range decreased from 5000 meters to 50 meters. Bug? Now, I heard this from a friend of a friend that heard from CIG that this is not a bug, that CIG has confirmed it, but I cannot be certain. So don't take my word for 100%. Maybe 99%? Why? Because the size 7 missile is for our ballista and ballista alone so far. So looks like CIG is restoring the ballista to its former glory, which I will be very excited about. Now, size 9 torpedoes. Minimum lock range reduced by half from 5 kilometers to 2.5 kilometers. Very nice. This is good for your Eclipse retaliators. And size 10 torpedoes from the Polaris, minimum lock range has been increased from 2300 meters to 2500 meters. It's not a big change. Now, size 12 torpedoes from the Idris T kit. This is very nice. Minimum lock range reduced from 4.5 kilometers to 3.5 kilometers. Again, in my previous video, we have tested this minimum lock range. It works very well on both the Polaris and the Idris. Especially the Idris, because you can fire 4 torpedoes at the same time. But on the Polaris, it's problematic because even though on the Polaris you have 4 torpedo tubes, but you can only fire 1 torpedo at a time. And the time distance between each torpedo is quite long. So that's a disadvantage for the Polaris torpedo. So that's the minimum lock range. Another stat that is very important, which is not on this chart, is if we look at the changelog here, is the explosion radius. Minimum radius and maximum radius has all been changed for every single missile. But it's very simple. If we categorize it, let's say all size 1 missiles, we only need to look at this section, says radius. 0.25 is a minimum explosion radius to 1 is a maximum explosion radius. Look at the size 1 missiles. The most trusted, most used Task Force 1 missile from explosion radius of 14 meters for a very long time, maybe years. Now down to only 1 meter explosion radius. So are every single size 1 missiles. They are equalized. So minimum radius 0.25, maximum radius 1 meter for all the size 1 missiles. Size 2 missiles, explosion radius minimum is 0.25, maximum is 2 meters, including the regular missiles. Now, size 3 missiles, minimum explosion radius is 0.25, maximum radius is 3. It's really easy to remember. Size 1, explosion radius 1. Size 2, explosion radius 2. Size 3, maximum explosion radius 3. Maybe size 4 is 4. Let's see. Yes, size 4 is 4. Is there any logic to this? I don't know, but it's easy to remember. Size 5, size 5 might be different. No, it's not. Size 5, maximum explosion radius 5 meters. Wow, the minimum is all 0.25. Maximum is 5. Now, size 7. No way, explosion radius is from 1 meter to 7 meters. Size 9 is 9? No, size 9 is 10. Minimum 5, maximum 10 meters, except the Seeker torpedo. Wow, the Seeker is still the best size 9 torpedo. Explosion radius minimum is 10 meters, maximum is 25 meters. The Seeker also has the highest damage. Size 10 torpedoes, explosion radius, everything is from 10 meters to 25 meters, same as a size 9 Seeker torpedo. Now, size 12, all the explosion radius is from 10 meters to 30 meters. That's it. There is one exception, which is size 5 Scimitar 5 missiles. This is a stock missile on the ballista. The exception is this. The minimum lock range is 50 meters. In the beginning, you might think this is a bug, but this might not be a bug because the ballista, long time ago, the minimum lock range is 50 meters. And because of this minimum lock range, the ballista is very effective for ground AA support or ground AA defense. And since CIG changed that, the ballista has become almost completely useless. But guess what? The glory of the ballista is restored, if this is true. Not only the scimitar, but like we said earlier, the size 7. The minimum lock range, 50 meters. So they did both the scimitar and the Helion for a reason. Now, there are so many things that I need to test for the scimitar as well as the ballista itself. Stay tuned.